Hey guys, Gizmodic here, and this is the Asus Zenfone 5Z. So if you're not an old-time subscriber of the channel, you probably don't know that I have been reviewing the Zenfone devices since their inception. So yeah, I've reviewed all of the Zenfone lineups till now, and I'm pretty much acquainted with the Zen UI and things like that on the Asus Zenfone lineup. Until now, I've never really recommended these Zenfone devices because something or the other isn't right with this phone. Either the pricing is off, or the hardware isn't that great, or the software sucks and things like that. But then Asus is on a roll this year because they've already had the Asus Zenfone Max Pro that's killing in the budget segment, and now they have the Zenfone 5Z, which I think is one of the best phones for 30,000 rupees. So in this video, I'll be giving you an in-depth review of this phone. I'll be telling you everything that you need to know about the Zenfone 5Z. So without wasting any more time, let's get started. So when you're selling a phone in the premium segment that is around the 30,000 rupees or above mark, apart from being a value for money device, your phone should actually make the user feel special. The user should feel that he or she has spent a huge amount of money, and that's where the build quality of the phone comes in. You can't have the build quality of a 15,000 rupee phone on a 30,000 rupee device. And that's where Asus has done things right. You get a glass and metal body on the Asus Zenfone 5Z that feels absolutely premium and rich. You feel like you're using an expensive device, and although the glass back is a fingerprint magnet, I like how this phone feels overall in the hand. The only problem, like I said, is that it's a fingerprint magnet, so you keep cleaning it a lot. But then Asus provides a transparent case inside the box as well, which you can use in case you don't want your phone to get dirty. But then the case is not of that great quality and it gets yellowish within a couple of weeks. So maybe try a third party case from Amazon or something like that. On the front you get this beautiful 6.2 inch 1080p display. It's an IPS LCD panel, so the colors are not as good as the OLED panel on the OnePlus 6, but then it's still a very good display. You get this big notch on the top, which some people like and some people hate. Honestly, I don't really have that strong opinions about the notch. I'm getting used to it. And if you look closely, you would find the notch on the Zenfone 5Z a bit bigger than the OnePlus 6, and that's there for a good reason. So Asus has actually integrated a secondary speaker in the earpiece, so when you watch content or something like that on your phone, you get the stereo speaker experience. It's much better than the OnePlus 6, and now I'll be playing a speaker sample from both of these phones so that you guys can judge how good the sound quality is from the loudspeaker on the Zenfone 5Z. Now that we're talking about the sound quality, let me tell you that this phone also comes with a pair of earphones inside the box that are actually quite good. It's nice of Asus to give a decent pair of earbuds inside the box of this phone because no one really does that in 2018. And talking about the sound quality from the headphone jack, I honestly felt that the OnePlus 6 was a bit more better than the Zenfone 5Z. The audio was louder from the OnePlus 6 and it also felt more rich in terms of bass. Now I don't have professional audio equipment to test all of this out, but then I came up with a DIY setup where I connected the phones with their headphone jacks to my recorder, and then I recorded an audio sample from both of these phones. So I'm playing them right now, and hopefully you guys can hear the difference between the headphone jack output from both of these phones. The Zenfone 5Z also has this audio wizard sort of thing that lets you tweak the audio settings from your phone's headphone jack or even the loudspeaker. One pro tip I would like to give you is that you should go to the settings and you should enable the Zen Ear Pro audio profile because it actually makes the audio a bit more louder and the bass is a bit better when you enable it. So no matter which earphones you use, you can enable that profile, or you can actually choose from a lot of profiles that are available in case your earphones are in one of those lists. So yeah, use the audio wizard if you want the best audio quality out of your phone. And once again, I'm using my setup to give you an idea of the different effects that you can do with the audio wizard app on the Zenfone 5Z. Look into my eyes and show me your adventures I haven't seen. Taking all the life it take me, baby.
that's made of, baby, that's made of all that we find.
Moving on, let's talk about some other things like the performance as well as my day-to-day experience with the Asus Zenfone 5Z. Well, you've got a Snapdragon 845 processor, at least 6 or 8 gigs of RAM. So the Zenfone 5Z is a beast in terms of performance. Be it day-to-day performance, multitasking, gaming, the Zenfone 5Z handles everything like a champ. Playing PUBG was a very good experience on this phone. I actually played it on the highest settings and the game runs very well. And overall the gaming experience is very good on this phone. You also get this Game Genie sort of thing where you can record gameplays, you can set up macros, and there are a lot of things that are customizable on the Game Genie app. So if you're someone who likes gaming a lot, the Asus Zenfone 5Z is one of the very good contenders because you've got those stereo speakers as well as a very good display and the performance is top notch. The phone has been very fast and fluid in my usage. Zen UI is very smooth. It's not as stable as Oxygen OS because there are some areas here and there where you do feel some minor stutters, but then they are not that frequent, and I actually like Zen UI because it offers so many features as compared to some other interfaces. Asus has actually worked on Zen UI a lot. Now, like I said, I've reviewed the previous Zenphones as well, and in the past the Zenphones were filled with a lot of bloat, extra Asus apps, and overall the software experience was just annoying and not that great. With the Zenfone 5Z, they've polished their UI very well. There are no bloatware apps, there are no extra apps from Asus, and overall the software experience has been very good. You've got a theme store, you've got so many features that I've actually made a separate video for it. And overall the Zen UI is something that you'd enjoy if you love having features on your phone. It doesn't have a lot of bloatware, it's easy to use, plus it's got so many AI features as well. AI is everywhere on this phone. It's there in the camera, it's there in battery management, and a lot of other things as well. So overall, I love Zen UI. It might not be as stable as OnePlus 6 yet, and it's not as good in terms of updates like you get on the OnePlus 6 with Oxygen OS, but then I think Asus is getting there and this is a step in the right direction. Good job, Asus. Now let's come to one of the most interesting parts of this phone, the camera. So the Asus Zenfone 5Z has a dual camera setup. So you've got a 12 megapixel primary sensor and an 8 megapixel secondary wide angle sensor. That's actually pretty cool. You can click some really wide angle shots with this sensor, and I actually prefer this layout in smartphone. The wide angle lens is actually very nifty to have. On the front, you've got an 8 megapixel sensor, and I've actually done an extensive camera comparison of the Zenfone 5Z with the OnePlus 6. So you can go watch that, and overall I would like to say that the camera performance on the Zenfone 5Z is very good. Although one thing I would like to mention is that it tries to shoot in HDR mode a lot when it's set in auto. So when you're indoors, turn the HDR off because you can actually click much more better pictures with HDR off in dim lighting conditions. I'm showing some of the samples on the screen right now and you can figure it out for yourself. Also, I like how feature-rich the camera app on the Asus Zenfone 5Z is. You can shoot 4K 60fps videos, there is slow motion videos, you can have a fully professional mode in photo as well as video, and you also have some other things like super resolution which takes photos up to 49 megapixels, and you also have this GIF animation mode where you can create some really cool GIFs. So yeah, a very versatile camera app. The front-facing camera is also good, not as good as the OnePlus 6. But yeah, it gets the job done, and I like the camera setup on the Zenfone 5Z. You can go watch my comparison video for more in-depth information on that. Next up, let's talk about the battery life on the Asus Zenfone 5Z. So you've got a 3300 mAh of battery, and honestly it doesn't sound a lot on paper, but then it gets you through a full working day. If you're a very heavy user, you might have to plug in at the end of the day, but then the charging times are not that high. You have fast charging on this phone, and it will take around 1 hour and 10 minutes for a full charge, which is quite decent. But then I still do feel that Asus can improve the battery life with some software upgrades, so that would be great. And one thing I would like to mention is that if you're not getting notifications for your apps, you have to go to the battery settings and turn auto start on. So this one actually disables auto start on a lot of apps to save battery. So in case you're not getting notifications on any of your apps, just go to the settings and turn auto start on. And as you can see, you have a lot of options in the battery optimization menu that you can play with. You can set the phone's mode to performance, normal, and so on. I honestly used my phone with the normal mode for the most part. I only switched it to performance when I was gaming. So yeah, a ton of features that you can play around with to tweak the battery life on your phone. And overall, I felt that the OnePlus 6 has a bit better battery life than this phone, but then it's not that big of a difference, and the Asus Zenfone Max Pro will get you through a day. Finally, let's talk about some other things like the call quality and network reception, which was very good on this phone. You get a hybrid SIM card, so you can use two nano SIM cards or one SIM card and one memory card, and this phone also supports dual VoLTE. I actually tried using the hybrid SIM adapter and I could use two SIM cards and one memory card. So if you want that, you can do that using that adapter. Apart from that, you also have face unlock on this phone. It's pretty fast. I have no complaints there, and the fingerprint sensor is very quick too. So yeah, the Asus Zenfone 5Z is sorted in terms of the fingerprint sensor as well as the face unlock. Finally, let's come to the conclusion. So what do I think about the Asus Zenfone 5Z? Honestly, for 30,000 rupees, I wholeheartedly recommend the Asus Zenfone 5Z. It's a very good phone. It's a very value for money device. It doesn't compromise on anything big, and the phone is very good to use overall. I really enjoyed my time with the Asus Zenfone 5Z. And I actually got this phone for 27,000 because there was a cashback offer going on. I don't know if it's there right now or not, but then even for 30,000 rupees, I think this is a very good deal. Now, if you're confused between the OnePlus 6 and the Asus Zenfone 5Z, the choice is actually yours. The OnePlus 6 will give you that Oxygen OS, which is better in terms of updates as of now than the Zenfone 5Z, plus you get a better display on the OnePlus 6 as well. But then if you think that's not worth spending the extra 5,000 rupees, you can go with the Asus Zenfone 5Z. It's one of the best devices that I've reviewed this year and I have no problems with it. I have the links to buy this phone in the description box, so if you're interested, then go check it out. And I hope you guys liked this review of the Asus Zenfone 5Z. I've tried to cover everything I could, but then if you guys still have any more questions about this phone, then please drop them down below in the comments and I'll make sure that I reply to them. And if you're new to the channel, then definitely hit that red subscribe button and press the bell icon so that you don't miss out on my new videos. This was a very impromptu video for me. I'm not sitting with a script, so if I've made any mistakes or anything like that, then I apologize and I'll definitely get better with my future videos. That's all for now. Thanks for watching and I'll be back in your notifications very soon. Peace.